I used to live in this part of Korea for like about a year. It's right in between Hongdae and Sogang. It's probably the closest thing that I feel to like a homey feeling in Korea. It's so comfortable and cozy and pretty quiet, and I love coming here so much. Hello, my name is Marlon Alistair, and today we're going to talk about things that I wish I knew before I moved to Korea. Today I'm on my beautiful apartment bedroom floor because there's no other place with good lighting and the sun is slowly going down. But I have my notes, I have my coffee, let's do this quickly. Things I wish I knew before moving to Korea. I'm going to try and do 3 or 4. First, I'm going to talk about, which is similar to what I talked about in my last video, which is language. Survival language is so important to learn if you're planning to move to Korea or even be a student here. Even if it's just a little bit, ordering coffee, something like that can change your entire experience of how you live in the country. And I know that kind of sounds obvious, but when I first came to Korea, I came to visit for 2 months or so, and I knew nothing. I knew zero Korean. I knew hello and thank you, that's probably it. But while I was living here, I decided I should probably learn some survival language if I'm gonna continue to live here. And my doors opened, completely different areas. I made new friends, I got different job opportunities. So many things happened for me. It's just because I knew small bits of Korean. Really, it did change my life to learn just the small bits, because from that I learned more and more and more. And even if you do make Korean friends or you know somebody that is Korean, there's gonna be a lot of times when you're alone, when you're walking around and you want a coffee, or when you're going to a restaurant by yourself, or just doing something on your own, you'll be alone a lot. I would say I'm honestly by myself probably 90% of my week. Maybe that's just because I'm an introvert, I don't know, but I'm not really with a lot of people typically. I just am by myself a lot of the times. And if I did not speak Korean, I don't know how I would get through my day. You should at least try, put in the effort, and your life will change completely if you put in the effort. I will say there may be times where it's discouraging, because a lot of the times, even now when I speak Korean and I'm ordering in Korean, speaking to the person in Korean, if my friend is next to me, a Korean friend of mine or someone I know, he will look to the Korean friend and kind of confirm what I'm saying, or it can be an awkward situation, and those experiences can kind of put you down from learning the language, because you feel like it doesn't feel good to be ignored, especially in those situations when you're trying to put the effort in. However, it's a minority of the time. I've had a lot of people helping me or encouraging me. 그리고 제가 하고 싶은 말이 있어요. 제 지난번에 올렸던 동영상에는 한 댓글은 이 외국놈이 한국말 할 줄 안다고 계속 하는데 아무 말 안 했잖아요. 다시 미국으로 가라. 그런 사람이 있었거든요. 그래서 이 짧은 시간에 제가 한국말 할 수 있다는 것을 보여주고 싶었어요. 완전히 완벽하게 하는 것이 아닌데도 어쨌든 조금만 보여주고 싶었어요. I understand my language is not 100% perfect by any means, and some people would not even consider me to be fluent. I would consider myself to be fluent because 9 out of 10 of my days I see zero issues with my language speaking. So that is my suggestion as somebody who has lived in Korea for years and has learned the language and experiences this country from the lens of somebody who speaks Korean, because the opportunities and everything just gets so much better with the knowledge of Korean. I want to talk about visas. Sometimes it can be quite easy and sometimes it can be quite difficult to get visas in Korea. But there's one thing I want you to know. If you're coming to work, if you're coming as a student, whatever it is that you're coming to do here, except for travel, traveling is different. But if you're coming to live in Korea, you're going to need your apostilled university diploma. And what is an apostilled university diploma? So when you graduate, you get your diploma, right? They want you to copy that, send that to a notarizer, get that notarized, and then from that notary, send it to your head of state department. I'm not sure the name of the department, but then get it apostillized, which is like a secondary, another form of notarization. And then you can use that for your visa application. The reason that I bring this up is because it can take months to get this document if you don't do it correctly. I'm not sponsored by any of these expedited services that there are online, but if you look up online, there are ways to get this apostille document service. And I've had to do it because I graduated university when I was overseas. I graduated while I was living in Korea. So I had to get all of this done while I was living in Korea already. So it was just a huge mess, but I want you to know it takes a while. So if you're planning to come to Korea, to move to Korea, I wouldn't just do it on a whim and like, I'm gonna move there in a month, I'm gonna do all of this, because it takes a while to plan all of these things, especially documents for visas. In general, getting a visa in Korea can be quite easy, that document can be quite difficult and specific if you don't plan ahead in time enough. I've seen a lot of people not be able to come to Korea or come back to Korea because they didn't have that document ready, and it really is such a hassle to get, but there's no other way around it. So I'm telling you now, if you're planning to come to Korea, you need that document. And next I want to talk about hygiene and beauty and fashion in Korea. First of all, hygiene. In America, we use deodorant every single day, all day, every day. In Korea, they don't. I mean, some people may, but it's just not really a thing people do. Again, some people may, but a lot of the people that I've seen just don't use deodorant. They don't need to. I'm not gonna get into the whole scientific reason of why, but they don't use deodorant. And we Westerners use a lot of deodorant. But the deodorant here is, one, expensive, and two, just like awful. Popular ones are like these, and they're kind of like the powder deodorant. I hate powder deodorant. It stains on your shirt and all that stuff. The next best thing would be this, but I also am not a fan of these. Similar to that, but it's just a spray. It sprays on white. And all of the imported goods in Korea are gonna be expensive. I've seen a lot of people in my comments like, why are you surprised imported goods are expensive in Korea? It's just expensive. If you can bring something with you from America, I would recommend deodorant, or having a friend or family member send you some, because it is expensive and very hard to find here. I made a video about beauty before and how it can be really important to Korean people how they appear to other people. Korean people often talk about how other people look, whether it be in a nice way or a bad way. You are not going to be the exception, I promise you. Korean people will tell you to your face if you look tired today, if you look puffier today, if you gained weight, if you lost weight. It's just something very common, and it happens to me so many times. Something I was very surprised by when I first came here, they would say my nose is big. It's supposed to be a compliment. People are saying that you have a nice nose bridge or something like that. When I first heard it, I felt like, my nose is big? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't think it's that big. I was just surprised. I mean, now I'm much more used to it. People say it, they mean it in a nice way. People will just talk about you. Straight up, they'll say, you look so tired today, what happened? Or people say like, oh, you've gained weight, is there a problem or something like that? It's just the truth. I don't know if that happens in a lot of other countries. I know in Mexico it kind of happens. My father's Mexican, so I have experience with that. In general, it's not necessarily meant to be a bad thing. It's kind of caring or showing interest in somebody, but it's something that might shock you, and it's something that I was shocked by a lot because I did not really know much about Korean culture before I came here. But so I wish I knew about that before, so I could kind of prepare my reactions of how people would comment on my appearance or whatnot. I'll say one last thing. I made a lot of videos about food in Korea. Something that I've heard a lot of foreigners saying from all across the world, from Europe, from other countries in Asia, from America, South America. A lot of foreigners tend to say that Korean food tends to be on the sweeter side. I have to agree with that because I was so surprised with how they can make pizza or chips. A lot of food tends to be on a sweeter side of things. Some people are kind of off put by that, and some people really like it. That was just something I wish I knew. I've eaten a lot of Korean food when I was in America, but when I came here, it's a very different flavor. And even the Western food that is made here, it's made for the Korean palate. It's not gonna be authentic to whatever country you're coming from. So if you're looking for Italian food, if you're looking for Mexican food, if you're looking for Chinese food, it's gonna be a bit sweeter than what you expect. You don't believe me? Come and try your country's food out and you will be very surprised. The one thing that I was most surprised by was sweet Cheetos. That was something I was not a big fan of. Anyway, I rambled a lot for today. If you want a part 2 of things that I wish I knew, leave a comment and subscribe. In general, if you have anything to say or your own experiences, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.